Welcome to Another Look, a film podcast where we go back and discuss a filmmaker's body of work from their hits to their misses, as well as genres, eras, movements, and everything in between. In this week's episode, we're going to look back at some of director David Cronenberg's most undiscussed work.
Another Look is a podcast that we have been in planning the formation of it for a while. We've been talking about it. We all love movies. We all go to movies a lot. We all talk about them to each other anyway. We just decided to give ourselves a forum to actually talk about it, and maybe other people would be interested in our opinions about some of the stuff. I don't know.
So also we think maybe people want to hear us yell at Nick.
Yes.
Creekball.
Jordan eats, smokes, and shits movies.
God damn it. We have to do this
Okay.
over again because we didn't even introduce ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna do introductions. So fuck, how do I go? How do we go in from this? I'm Ian Killian. I'm a big fucking idiot who doesn't know how to do a podcast.
Damn it.
I'm Ian Killian, and I'm here with.
Ben Riley.
Nick Creekbaum.
Jordan Mushino.
So our two movies today are M. Butterfly and Crash. So Ben, you want to talk about this a little bit?
I guess we'll talk about Crash first.
Okay.
Crash was written and directed by David Cronenberg, and it was based off of a novel by J.G. Ballard, which is basically what James Spader's character is in the movie. Really,
Do we know that? Like,
his
is it
name's
just-
Ballard.
Yeah, is it
I
like
mean,
a
I put that
coincidence, or is it
together.
Like
John
Ballard.
John Ballard.
I mean, it might
yeah.
not be like autobiographical, but it could.
Yeah,
be.
yeah. I
Like
and
part of
it's
me
a-
hopes
it's a
like
cool- it's
he
quite a
actually
cool-
has this
yeah.
fetish.
Otherwise,
But do you want to
Well-
talk a little bit about like what the movie?
Yeah,
It's about?
it was released in 1996. It's rated. It's one of his movies that is very even explicit for a Cronenberg movie. It's NC-17 for numerous explicit sex scenes.
Is that the only
That's all that I
Cronenberg-
saw.
Is that the only Cronenberg movie that's NC-17?
well,
I'm
most
sure.
of them I believe were probably
I think they all
rated by
should
like
be.
a Canadian film board or
Yeah,
something
it might
because
be
they're
different.
older. And I don't know if Scanners or Videodrome have a rating because Videodrome might. It shows there's
Yeah.
literally it's about NC like
Yeah.
hardcore porn
Yeah.
basically,
Okay.
kind of.
The plot synopsis is that after getting into a serious car accident, a TV director discovers an underground subculture of scarred, omnisexual car crash victims who use car accidents and the raw sexual energy they produce to try to rejuvenate his sex life with his wife. Has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 58%, so critically, it was about half positive, half negative.
Yeah, mix the positive.
I think it's
Yeah.
more of like a cult thing, like a
Yeah.
cult following.
Roger Ebert loves it.
Yeah. Would you suggest it for Chris, our engineer?
I would not. I,
I wouldn't suggest
he loves
it to anybody.
cars. He loves cars.
You do
though.
love cars.
and he might
Vroom,
and he
vroom.
might
You
love
care
sex.
about
So
famous people car crashes.
And I was in a car crash with him. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
all right. So how about general consensus for everyone? I guess I will start. I did not really care for it. There were parts about it that I thought were pretty cool and like interesting, but a lot of the way it was structured by going from scene to scene, I felt like James Spader's character to me felt like it just felt a little hollow to me.
Mm-hmm.
He's very.
There's
cool.
not
Yeah.
like much to him. He doesn't really talk a whole lot. It's just
When he does,
going.
he
It's like
whispers.
it's he's having
Well,
sex in one scene, and then it cuts right to another scene, and he's doing something else with somebody else, and it's just
Yeah, for sure. I feel you on that. It's I don't want to say thin because there's a lot there, I think.
I don't think it's. I think it may be
it's like-
thin in terms of story, but
Yeah,
not
yeah.
in terms of what the story is about.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Let's hear what Nick has to say because I already
Nick
know
has a
it's-
lot to
I already know
say,
it's coming.
or not a lot to say.
It was awful. it was awful, and when I first saw it, I remember thinking that it was pretty bad, but I didn't realize it was quite that bad, in my opinion. And I facepalmed quite a bit, legitimately.
At the movie or the character?
Just at
See, because I don't know. You're talking like more like these characters' decisions. Like,
no, not these characters' decisions, but the movie. Like, what was he thinking?
Who?
David Cronenberg. Like, I don't know.
It's a real thing, I'm guessing. Like he thought that
I
was
guess.
an interesting
it's
underground
definitely interesting.
culture.
It reminds me of like Rant. The book
Yeah,
Rant.
yeah, exactly.
You know, car crashes. Like these people have these obsessions with car crashes. And
but
they're-
didn't you feel like it was trying way too hard?
Well, see, I did have that. Like, I took some notes down. Like, is this movie taking it too serious? Because I mean, it is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like if it was like joking around with it, I just feel like it wouldn't be as strong. And I'm not saying I loved the movie, but I did enjoy it.
How in the hell is the coincidence there that all of them have that fetish?
They don't at first.
Yeah, that's how that stuff.
It gets
that's how those communities are built.
Yeah.
These horny people get together somehow through the same things that they like.
The character of Vaughn literally shows up at these things
Yeah.
to make it, and he builds an
Vaughn
audience.
is a pretty big piece of shit.
Yeah.
He
my
has
opinion.
he has that line. What does he say? He says let me see here.
Well, he and James Spader had gay sex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at one
Yeah.
point. But I don't think
it starts out as a threesome. And
I don't feel like it. Like
no. In
no,
the car.
They go back to like they're driving around and they have sex, and then he like leaves and goes to like a wrecked car, and then Vaughn drives into the car and just drives away.
Yeah.
So, is that basically saying that James?
No, it's not saying what
James
you think it's
Spader's
saying.
his character's gay.
No, I don't even think
don't
like
think
the
it has-
sexuality.
It's just
like,
them like getting off.
Yeah,
in-
because I didn't take that from it either. I didn't
Yeah.
take that they were gay. I just
no.
took that.
I don't think there was any like because there's like a lesbian sex scene in the car. I think it's just like
it's just
pleasure
about the
and,
sex
like,
aspect of
sexuality.
it, not
Yeah.
gender.
like
or
if you
anything.
think about the movie and like full circle. At the beginning, you see these two people who are obviously interested in discussing everybody else's their extramarital affairs with others.
They're like kind of bored.
Yeah, they're bored with each
Yeah,
other.
Yeah.
But they kind of like have pleasure in the fact that they are alike in the way that they can talk to each other
Yeah,
about
yeah,
how they can have sex with others. And at the end, their interest is once again piqued. You know what I mean?
But-
so that's like the progression that the story makes is between those two characters.
And see, like my biggest problem was like because I think it'd be better if there was like I usually don't say stuff like that. If there was like more of like a backbone in the plot.
I agree. Like Elias Koteas' character Vaughn is
super interesting.
Is a piece of the puzzle
Yeah.
that gets them there.
But
But
he just sort of pops in and out.
yeah, like tonally, atmospherically, I think the movie is perfect.
Yeah,
but
it's so
it-
moody.
yeah.
The music
The
is
Howard-
awesome.
Yeah, the
When
I
music-
think
Howard
the
Shore did
music
the
is
score?
the best part.
Me
in my
too.
opinion.
I think that
It's pretty-
At least in the beginning, the cinematography is really good. Of like the beginning car
it-
accident.
the
And,
shots at like the nighttime shots.
Yeah,
are really
the nighttime. The
Right.
nighttime
I agree
photography
that-
is
The
really good.
cinematography is very good.
Yeah.
I do
It's a
fall-
well-made movie.
Yeah.
It's the story that I'm not super into.
I don't know if it's well made.
I actually might be with Nick here because I do think there are many sequences
Yeah.
where it's pretty much like shot progression is like incoherent. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
like,
I
like
know
late in
what
the
you
movie
mean.
when Elias Koteas
Yeah,
has a car
like
accident.
that car accident.
Um,
yeah, I feel that part.
But what works so well is how they focus in on the wounds from the
Oh, well,
wreckage.
that
It is.
part.
It's
you got to
the-
say that's effective.
It's disgusting. It's like
Yeah.
the most disgusting thing I may have ever seen in movies because it's just so. It's like there's a shot at one point where you can see her like pubic hair, but
Yeah.
the light is on her the
scar- the
print,
bruise, yeah.
the bruise from his handprint, and
Yeah.
it just does that over and over again. Even there's a scene, like there's shots that seem completely out of nowhere, but it's just like a shot from over the car looking down in the window at her legs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or there's a shot where they're in the car like making love and the car's like coming together. It's like a convertible.
Yeah.
And
It's
it
in a-
just
yeah.
it just like makes a frame within a frame of
Oh yeah.
You know
when
what?
It, like the window closes up and he's like sticking his hand like in between
Yeah.
your legs and like the window like the other window comes. Oh, that
Yeah.
part is, I like that. See
as sexual as a movie this is, it takes a back seat to the
and
to some of the more graphic elements.
by the way for that scene I named it car wash cuck. Because James Spader watches his girlfriend.
That's his wife.
His wife have sex with Vaughn.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Why
That part
car-
confused
He
me a
literally,
little
car
bit.
wash
he
cuck.
literally, yeah. his whole hand was up there.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
See, to me,
His thumb was poking out.
It felt like she, like, I don't know how to say it. It seemed like it was, like, consensual, but then it seemed to a point where it was almost like she didn't want him.
Oh, Vaughn?
Yeah, that whole part. There was just,
I didn't catch that.
it was very...
I know what you mean, but oddly enough, I think that's part of why they like it. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
know. That's why.
It's-
That's what
it's-
I'm saying. It's confusing.
Yeah, because you can't always tell whether
Yeah.
this is whether it's too much or not.
Well, she seems kind of fucked up about it afterwards, and that's that scene you're talking about with James Spader and his wife in the bed, where she's like all bruised.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just, it was like immediately
And there's
after.
also
why
a
would
lot
you
of
do
things
that?
with like Vaughn like chasing down cars and like.
When his friend dies, he's like, "Why didn't you let me know about this?"
Yeah.
He doesn't care that his
Vaughn
friend
is a
dies.
piece of shit. Yeah, he just wants to get off on. That's the grossest part to me when they're driving. Like all the wounds and scars and stuff is gross, and
That's typical.
Yeah.
Cronenberg.
Like I'm used to that, but like and the sex like sick, you
Right,
know,
right.
cool,
Hell yeah.
hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, but the grossest scene was when they're driving, you know, and there's that crash and like he's like
Hanging out the
fucking
window?
like
Is it that one?
slobbering to like
Oh, yeah.
see this crash. And
Wait, is that
gross.
when they're like
He has
He's
the
taking the
camera. He's
pictures
like hanging off,
and like ends up to be Vaughn's friend.
Yeah.
Oh, that actually really grossed me out because like fine, you know, you do your own thing, hurt yourself, hurt your partner if they're into that, but like watching other people's like pain and getting off like other people's deaths and getting off on that is what.
See, that's
grossed
what
me
it
out.
left me feeling very uneasy. I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's movies like that, like I think are like typically like a good movie, but like I just can't get into it because of the way it makes me feel. And this is like one of those where it's just like I just don't like the way that it affects me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's how I've always felt about it.
Yeah.
It's just so kind of unnerving. It's unlikable. What's interesting though, and Roger Ebert, who loved the movie, said that if you replace every disgusting thing with something normal, it would just be a regular love story.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And I think that's interesting, but I don't know if I buy it.
Roger Ebert's a cuck too, though. So
Let me go in. You can cut this out if this isn't.
that's
isn't
fine. Whatever.
right for it. But this is relevant to what you guys were all just saying. This is TMI, kind of.
Okay.
But
this is where the podcast starts
it's-
already.
You stuck it in a
We're all
leg,
setting the
leg-long
tone.
scar.
It's
We're
relevant.
all rubbing our
No.
hands and waiting to listen.
It's relevant to what you guys were just saying.
Was this like
about how,
we went to the
this
drive-in?
was from last night. No, this was from last night
I don't even know.
after I got done brushing up on this movie. Because I
Jacked
went
off?
back. No, I went back and rewatched some of the parts in this movie, and Sadie, my girlfriend,
Okay.
was getting a little frisky, trying to come on to me a little
Yikes.
bit.
Okay.
And
I think
was
you
like,
might want to cut it out.
But no, keep going.
No,
Keep
listen,
going.
listen.
I like this.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not feeling this right now. I just done watching the crash. Okay, and she didn't quite understand
If
what
you're okay with this, who gives a shit?
she didn't understand why. And I'm like, if you watch this movie, if you just watch
she
what I
didn't watch
watched,
it with
no,
you?
I was
Okay.
watching it
I-
with headphones on my
I was gonna say, what if I thought she was like, ooh, what's this?
and she was
I'm
starting to
feeling
take
good.
it personally a little bit, but I'm like,
So this.
She's like, "Do you know what I just watched?"
yeah, I'm like, that's
Yeah,
actually what I
the way
said.
you introduced it, I did think she was like seeing clips.
Yeah, and got turned on.
Yeah.
From it.
No.
I was
Okay.
not horny at all.
Yeah,
No,
I was
no,
so
it's very
like,
perverse.
blank and-
I'm not gonna say. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I wasn't. You know.
I was blank, and I didn't know what. I just couldn't believe. I appreciate that Cronenberg went to another level with his
Yeah.
form of body
Cool.
horror,
Yeah.
like he,
Oh, yeah.
like his whole
This
filmography. pretty
this
much.
feels like another. This feels
Right.
like a Cronenberg.
It
Like
definitely
theme-wise,
fits
yeah.
into
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Extension of humans through technology, pain,
psychology.
gore,
Yeah, that
psychology.
line Vaughn says.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is. I had
Which
it written
one?
down somewhere. It's like let me see.
There's like
here.
a scene where he like
the reshaping of the human body by modern technology.
Yeah.
He repeats that as like his kind of
it's-
way to let people in.
Yeah, but
And
then
it's- yeah.
but then like James Spader says something after that. Sort of seems like not like criticizing himself, but like satirizing himself because he says like something that sounds like such like a film critic would say about a Cronenberg movie.
Like he doesn't buy the ideology.
Yeah. He like
yeah.
questions it. Excuse me, but yeah.
Two things. Let me ask you guys: why were they mostly speaking in whispers?
It's
That
just-
bugged the hell out of me.
That's just
Is that just something?
effect.
Okay.
Yeah, part of that is you know,
And it's
that,
like erotic. You could say that's erotic.
You know, man, you could say the same thing about scenes in Mulholland Drive. Or,
Yeah.
you know, they do this. It's just because he has a mood that he's going for
Yeah.
that, and that will that will take place over realism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Cronenberg's movies,
Yeah.
just like a lot of people do, and I prefer it that way. But I do think the characters were thin beyond
Yeah.
the point, especially one the backbone of the story in some ways is the relationship
yeah,
between
that's
James
how, that's,
Spader
yeah.
and his wife.
And it sort of like backs away out of his story too. Like
Yeah.
it cuts to
It
like a
doesn't-
sex scene that has nothing to really do with him. It's just the
in no
crew.
way does it humanize the people
Yeah,
that when it's trying
what-
to make us care about their sexual
And what was the
relationship.
point of some of the other characters that were even in it?
Yeah.
Like a Holly Hunter. I know Holly
Yeah.
Hunter kind of introduces him into that whole world.
Yeah.
But then, like that lesbian scene, like what was the point of
There's-
showing that?
I couldn't see.
It
the
didn't
point.
do anything other than just show another graphic
Yeah,
sex.
Yeah.
and when they crash into each other and she rips she pulls her tit out,
Yeah.
and I didn't understand that at
That-
all.
I don't.
didn't-
That was
she
on,
was
that was on
aroused.
accident.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
didn't.
I thought that was on accident. I took it as
Wait,
on
you
accident.
mean the initial car crash in the beginning?
Yeah, like she
I
was
thought it
taking her
was
seatbelt off, and
Oh.
Her tit just.
I thought
popped
she
right
just
out.
got like really
I-
aroused.
that could be.
I
but
think
I thought it
it's
was
a
on.
little bit of both.
Yeah,
Because he's just
okay.
looking
because
at her
she
like,
is,
and that sparks.
and he's aroused too.
And
Yeah,
that sparks it maybe.
And
you
in
know?
turn, how that brings back to my first point. How in the hell does that make any sense that two people crash into each other and they both are
well,
fetish
he didn't
fiends?
even know what it was. I don't
He
think
had no one- yeah,
knew
he was not-
that he felt that way until it happened.
I believe that more than anything
It's
else.
not-
There's a chance. Like I don't know. It's
It's
okay.
not that two people crashed into each other that were fetish fiends. It's that one was, and then one was brought into this world,
Yeah.
who was basically seduced into it, who we already established is very sexual.
That is also like a thing for me too. There was a gap from them hanging out and having sex in that parking lot. Then they went to that first enactment of the reenactment of the James
James
Dean.
Dean.
Yeah.
Which just ends absurdly. They literally hobble into like the
yeah,
forest and,
yeah.
like,
But it
where-
just like
what are
sort
you
of hops.
doing?
There's no mention. Hey, you want to try this or go?
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least
I have-
not that I caught.
No, you're right. They out
So-
of nowhere they're kind of invited. They're
Yeah.
friends and they are.
Yeah.
I
in the middle of-
I even like rewound it.
We do.
to
It does
see-
show him meeting because when he's there, he acknowledges that. Hey, isn't that the guy I saw at the hospital?
Yeah, yeah.
How
'Cause
the
he
hell
thought-
are we supposed to care though about any of that stuff? Because I sure as hell didn't.
It's like I said. It's not. It's more about mood. It's,
Yeah.
You know, you have to. I understand what you're saying,
And I
but-
dig that. Normally in movies, I dig that
Yeah.
when it's about mood.
Yeah, like if
It's
we
just the
if
wrong
I,
style
the
over
wrong
substance.
fetish for you.
Yeah, if
Yeah, I
I really
guess.
wanted to say
Yeah.
it, why do you care about Elle Fanning and Neon Demon? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same.
Well, like Nick Refn said, there's a 16-year-old girl in all of us.
Yeah.
So
Well,
maybe that's why you connect.
2 points to make about this movie that you guys may have found this out too. I thought it was hilarious that this came to theaters the same day as D3 The Mighty Ducks. And I also thought it was a coincidence that it also came out the same day as that movie directed by the Wachowski brothers.
Bound.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bound.
yeah.
And I thought that was cool too because that's kind of
was that 96 or
yeah.
97? Because
96.
96.
Yeah.
Just horny movie.
Well, I can
Yeah,
tell
just
you-
2 horny
96 in
movies
Canada.
on
Horny-ass
top of
movies.
each other.
That's a horny day. Is it the same day you said?
Yeah, same
Same?
day.
Crash did not play in that many
That's
theaters,
a-
though.
No,
But if you found the right theater,
the
that's a horny day at the
Wachowskis
movie.
probably
Yeah.
love Crash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who?
The Wachowskis.
Do they?
Probably.
Oh, well,
I'm
they
gonna,
can love it all they want.
I want to.
They can
This
keep it.
isn't part of the sexual stuff of it, but like the stuff with the car crashes in general. Like I don't understand how they were able to like pull off these car crashes.
Yeah.
I don't mean like the filming of them. I mean in
Survive?
the movie. Yeah, like the James Dean crash. Like there's no top on the car. They're crashing at a pretty high speed. It's just
I
like
bet- Yeah, I don't know. I bet they were going like 30 miles an hour. But
It's
maybe it's just the way it's shot where it feels like they're going really
Yeah.
fast or the impact
like
is hard.
if you
but
did you see like they showed the photos of the actual James Dean crash and like it's just like shreds of metal.
he was
so-
probably driving very
Yeah,
fast.
so this is just like them like a reenactment, them just hitting each other at maybe like speeds that they are able to.
I was just, I know it was all for the sexual rush of it, but I was just thinking, like, do these people have a death wish? Because there's no way that it's
do.
not
They
going
do.
to end bad.
They actually
know
do.
how they're gonna end. I think.
Yeah, I think the end of the movies, like that, is the ultimate ecstasy, is death to these people because they have a death wish. That it's that risk. You know what I mean? They do mention how they're professional drivers. Mm-hmm. I know they say there's no roll cages or anything like that that's gonna like prevent their injuries, but the one person did die, and in that first wreck, didn't they? Or his friend just got really badly hurt.
That was later on.
Oh yeah,
his friend got a concussion. And
he was dazed.
They dragged him out, and he was just like, whoa.
Yeah, they walk into the woods as the cops are running around.
Did that gross you out? Because I know you don't like head wound stuff.
I didn't get to see the part where his head made contact with anything, so I was.
It's just like one of those things. Okay. It makes you it makes you feel weird.
Was there anything that you did like though, Ben, in the movie, other than like the mood?
I liked the mood. Yeah, I liked the score. I'm
just curious.
Like it's mainly just visual stuff because for the most part I didn't really care for the story, and we didn't even talk about this part. But what was up with the scene where Ballard is having sex with his wife and she's just asking him all these fucking questions about Vaughn. I have some of the things she said. Must smell like semen. Have you seen his penis? Is he circumcised? Can you imagine what his anus looks like?
But
I was just thinking, what the fuck are you talking about?
That stuff is established right at the beginning of the movie because they love to talk about.
They're very kinky, I guess.
Yeah, but it was really dragged. That scene, like,
it was long.
Oh, yeah. She was playing 21 questions. She asked, like, I think she probably did ask 21 questions. Like,
maybe
she was interrogating him, and he wasn't answering, which is unfair.
She wanted to know.
She wanted to know, and he was just porking away.
He was like,
there are points where he feels like an antagonist to them, but I can't really. But it's hard to decipher.
Vaughn?
Yeah,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
part
hard
where he like maybe like pushes it too far. I think
like when he's chasing them. Yeah, and then he ends up dying.
Yeah, he's in that one point when he's just hitting the car that's in like the junkyard.
Yeah,
when he's in it, and he's like moving to the other side.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah. It is kind of uneven, and I agree with all the things you guys say, but I still. It worked with me. I don't know.
I think that's all there is to it. It's a movie that's different enough that you either ride.
I understand why it's kind of like we were talking about. Only God Forgives. I can see why it's like half people might like it, half people think it's a piece of shit.
And I sort of like how like fucking perverse it is, and you know.
I like that too.
And I like trying to figure out the symbolism. I like Vaughn, watching Vaughn, like that character of him just sort of driving on the freeway, just sort of like swerving in and out of like the lane. Also, like the opening crash was like shocking to me with that body shooting out of the car and going into Ballard's car. Like that. I mean, that's sex. That's sex there. Like there's penetration. So every scene is either like physical sex or like. The
movie doesn't hold. It might not show everything in the world that's super graphic, but it doesn't hold back.
No.
It makes you feel the disgust.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. And another so like I'm gonna say only 2 scenes gross me out because I'm scars don't gross me out and head injuries don't gross me out. Head traumas don't gross me out.
Head trauma grosses me out.
When they got tattoos together and
that was weird.
Yeah, like
Vaughn licked his tattoo. I was like, ew. You don't lick the fresh tattoo.
Yeah,
that's
what starts the scene Nick was on, the gay sex scene.
That's what grossed me out. And the dead, them getting off on dead people, and licking tattoos. That's what fucks me up.
Okay, what would we rate it out of 5?
I would rate it 3 out of 5. Horny enough.
Why?
I just said it.
What do you mean why? He just gave his reason.
Well, I know, but like
the mood got me going. No.
To me, a 3 is I liked it.
Not always, but
I'm not gonna just throw it. Hey, Mom, you want to watch a movie later tonight? I'm just not gonna throw this on at my parents' house.
I don't even think I would watch this with my girlfriend.
I don't think I'd ever watch this again. To be honest with you.
But no, for some reason it just clicked with me. I like the mood again. I like the nighttime photography. I just like how it kind of feels like a punk movie, you know what I mean? It just like doesn't give a fuck about.
It is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It wants to do whatever it wants to do. And
this is something different to watch.
Yeah,
you know, movies aren't like this except for some of his. Well, there are aspects of his other movies that are in this.
It felt like Cronenberg to me, and I like that feeling.
It's all long live the new Flesh. Yep. It's just the flesh is metal. You know what I mean? Type of.
So that's why I liked it, Nick.
Okay. Go ahead.
I give it a 2 out of 5. There are a couple pros, but for me, there's too many cons for it, so I did not enjoy it fully.
I'd probably be on the lower end of a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
But I would still give it a 3 out of 5.
And I'll jump right in there with a big old 1 because trash is trash.
Well, they all can't be winners, right?
They all can't be winners, but again, I'll go one more time. Who in the hell cares about that shit? Because I surely do not.
Wait, hold on. Are you equating it to like
I'm just trying to
real
understand.
life? Are
No.
Who cares about what?
Like who has this
I didn't care
fetish?
about a single goddamn thing in the
So
whole
did you watch the movie because we made you watch the movie?
No.
It's gonna turn into
No,
that.
no,
You know,
no.
you know what
Here
I'm
we
saying?
go.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think instantly it's interesting. People getting off in car crashes. That's why I watched the movie.
That's why you picked it.
When I first heard about this movie, I wanted to see it very badly.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to find. It's
I watched it on YouTube. It wasn't that hard.
well, I don't mean legitimately hard to find, but I mean like it's not really.
It's not put out.
I never saw it in stores.
Yeah.
I mean,
NC-17.
It's 'cause it's
NC-17.
NC-17.
It's just got a lot of mystique towards it that
Yeah.
interests
Yeah.
me.
Which-
Comparing it to Cronenberg's filmography.
Nick, it's when movies are this divisive, you're not going to like everyone, but
I
the
know.
ones that you do like are the most rewarding for you. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like Nick Refn movies.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
and you're
that's
not
just-
going to be able to change anyone's opinion, I think, if you feel this strongly one way or the
Yeah.
other.
He
no
just
matter what
he
someone
keeps
says,
looking
it
at me
is
and he
what it
keeps
is.
trying to change my opinion.
I don't know, like the reasons you like all the reasons you and we picked it are reasons that I think it excelled.
Yeah,
as a movie.
He's not impressed. You're not.
I
You're
do.
not
I understand. I understand
See,
the
I think
issues.
maybe a repeat viewing, it could change my. Like, I'm not on the very strong.
I can see that it's not-
anti-crash
Yeah, you're
part.
not. You're
I
not
could
hateful.
be swayed.
Let
I
me-
just did not
I
really
do think
enjoy
it has,
myself during
you know,
it.
it's a little narratively hollow. It could be more compelling. There are issues, but its imagery is like provocative and
and the
enough to-
character, that whole idea is just interesting enough to.
Yeah,
Let me tell you what, Ben. If you ever have a inkling to have a repeat viewing,
I probably won't,
I
but
think
you
it's
never
time
know.
for an intervention because that means you're fucking bored.
It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah. It's not.
I did like the short running time for a movie of that.
Oh, I did too.
It wasn't
I very
like
much appreciated that.
it wasn't really hard to watch. Like, it didn't feel that slow to me. Like, I got through it pretty fast.
Was it under 90 minutes?
It was.
I don't know. I don't know how long it was.
98
It is,
minutes, I
and we
think.
know why.
98
Yeah.
minutes. So,
sense.
Nick, instead of watching fucking Batman for the 98th time, maybe you can
Batman Returns.
rewatch Crash, a big boys movie.
To be honest, I actually did want to watch one of those movies last night, and I was like, shit, I have to rewatch this.
Well, you
you
can't.
did watch something. I saw you log something at Letterboxd for today.
Yeah, I watched Star Trek after I watched all this shit.
So
Yeah.
let's take a little break, maybe.
Okay,
All right.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Cool. So, Ben, do you want to talk about what the next thing we watched was?
Yep. The second movie we watched was M. Butterfly, which was directed by David Cronenberg, released in 1993, based off of a play by David Henry Hwang, who also wrote the screenplay. It's starring Jeremy Irons. The plot synopsis for this is: in 1960s China, French diplomat René Gallimard falls in love with an opera singer, Song Liling, but Song is not at all who Gallimard thinks. Rotten Tomatoes score was 42%, so even more critics did not care for this one than Crash.
Big shocker.
We are watching. We're starting this podcast off with some tricky movies to talk about. I feel like.
Yeah, these are very different. You can have very different opinions about these.
When he was reading that plot synopsis, I almost fell asleep.
So we already know what Big Mouth.
I think
thanks.
your enjoyment of this movie really depends on whether you can buy this movie setup.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm out of money because I ain't buying nothing.
God. So, well,
So you don't buy. Do you buy that?
I didn't buy the whole thing. The whole
What
thing
didn't?
sucked.
Wait, what do you mean?
What?
what didn't you understand?
What didn't
All
I
of it.
understand? Okay. No, I understood it.
Yeah. Well, you were asking questions before we started recording. By the way.
Well, I
Little behind the
mostly
scenes.
understood what the movie
Behind the
was
curtain.
about, but I just again I thought it was dull.
That's fine.
I would
Disagree.
say the beginning it takes a little bit to get on its legs and kind of
It feels
know
like
where it's going.
It feels like a traditional like period piece.
That doesn't feel like anything strange. It's almost like a normal love story. But then once it's discovered, things start happening, then it starts to feel more like a David Cronenberg movie than you would
for
think.
sure.
I wasn't shocked whatsoever because I saw The Crying Game that came out a few years before.
I don't think that's the thing that's trying to shock
and
you.
it did it better.
From what I gathered, I don't think it's not even that much of a shock. I think it's more of like kind of thinking, does Jeremy Irons know that Butterfly, who is the character? See, I guess we'll just talk about this. We find out during the movie, Jeremy Irons' character Renee.
Spoiler alert.
He's in love with this character who he calls Butterfly, who you find out is a man.
And who didn't see that coming from the moment the movie started?
Surprise. You can hear that. Their first conversation talks about that.
It is established. He becomes entranced by her, but it is established. She even acknowledges that because he pretends he's so cultured and and things like that, and she's like, "Why does it surprise you that I played a Chinese woman?" Like something along those lines. And the first time they speak, because he falls in love with her from the moment. Pronouns are hard.
It's tricky.
But
well, when you're talking about at this point in the movie, she is a woman to us. So
no, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I see what you mean. At the same time,
I think it's kind of established. I could understand how somebody would think that, but they talk about how I don't know how early this is, but they do talk about how in Chinese opera they use females and
they use
males and female parts.
Yeah.
So you're saying Jeremy Irons probably could have known?
I'm saying Jeremy Irons might not know himself, but we, the audience, do. Or may.
Yeah.
So do you think Song lives as a male or female?
A male.
To me, see, the thing, yes, when you see a Song later on in the movie, when the you can call it a twist if you even think it's that shocking, but when you find out that Song was actually a spy who was getting information from Renee, Jeremy Irons' character, then
that's the main twist is the spy story. They're really, I don't think Nick
and the spy story was so dull.
I agree that it's dull. I think it's just
it's not okay. So I take that back. It's not a spy story. It's not focused on that. That is literally just like pinched on the end.
Yeah, he purposely cut that stuff out.
Yeah, that's
to
pinched on the end.
Focus on the relationship because it's about the kind of Western culture versus the
again.
Eastern
this is like
culture.
a big allegory for that type of.
It's their idea that the Western is so masculine. He even talks about makes fun of little Chinese boys and things like that right around her because he assumes, you know what I mean? I don't know if he's willfully ignorant or he just doesn't know.
Ambiguous.
But it doesn't let us on, and he sells that really well.
Well, I think Song also makes the point that because when at the end of the movie it flips, but Song makes the point that Westerners find the foreigners killing themselves over the Westerner beautiful, but they wouldn't with the scenario flipped. Which then at the end, the Westerner is the one who kills himself.
Which I love the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ending was the only part I took from it that I liked.
Yeah, he becomes the butterfly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like that's laid out right in the beginning of the movie when they meet for the first time.
Yeah.
So.
But I gotta say again, Howard Shore's music was A+.
Good.
I loved it. Production design is great.
I didn't think Howard Shore's score was that great in that.
I really liked it.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I was honestly very into the movie.
How memorable was it though?
Memorable?
Yeah, the score.
If you heard the score, you go, "Oh, that's M Butterfly."
Aren't they?
Guarantee.
Did they put it out on Mondo? Your favorite?
Oh, did they?
I hope not, because I'm not getting it. That'd be a waste.
I mean, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure. I know they did Naked Lunch.
Yeah, they're doing Dead Ringers now.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I was.
No,
thinking
I think the score is great.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's tied to the
Asian
geography.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think on a level of craft, this movie works very well. It's just
one criticism I did was the opening credits.
I wrote that. I thought those were weird. It looked like a TV movie.
I looked like a Windows 98 screensaver because it's just like floating. And
it was. I agree. When I first started, I was like, what kind of movie is this gonna be?
I like it. It makes me think of like a Western Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet looks much better than that.
Yeah, but it's like the same idea. It's almost like a curtain. You know what I mean? And you're watching.
Oh yeah,
just
like, but the text is what like.
Yeah. Okay.
It just felt dated and like goofy.
I agree.
When you look at David Cronenberg's filmography, I think that this movie, I think it's cool that he took a stab at something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm not even gonna lie. Before we just we're talking about doing this podcast and this episode in particular, I had never heard of M. Butterfly.
I didn't either.
Besides the play.
Well, yeah.
I didn't know it was a David Cronenberg
I had
movie.
no idea.
That's exactly why I wanted to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I knew, but I never had like.
I never saw it.
It's just a movie that wouldn't hop into my like queue. You know what I mean? Without any like, oh, I got to sit down and watch this.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to.
The
do
reason
this for
we
the
would go
podcast.
back and watch this is solely because of David
Yeah,
Cronenberg's
and
name.
I also wanted to watch this for this podcast because I was like, oh, this isn't going to feel like a David Cronenberg movie. But to me, surprisingly, it did.
Absolutely.
To me.
Well,
Absolutely.
Because it's all mood. I'm not saying his movies are all mood, but it just has such a strong mood and feeling from his like characters and how everything just like looks and feels. And
It plays on gender, sexuality,
identity.
culture. He's done these themes quite a lot.
Yeah.
It only came out to 120 theaters, so it wasn't a big.
Clearly,
was
it's not a
big
movie
hit.
that everyone has seen.
it's
It's
not
a
gonna-
very unseen.
It only
movie.
grossed 1.5 million.
Yeah, but what was a wide release in 1993?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know
I'm
what I
sure.
mean?
It came out the same weekend as Cool Runnings.
I love Cool Runnings.
It is interesting though how, like from what I like when I think of David Cronenberg movies, like I think of like a lot from the 70s, the 80s. There's like a very specific kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But these movies we've been talking about were both 1990s movies, and you can definitely feel like a shift with him, but also
it still works.
it's still
Well, and
David
Butterfly
Cronenberg.
feels more like modern David Cronenberg.
Yeah.
than
I agree.
old,
I
you know,
agree.
Like, you could definitely see like the transition.
I also
with these two movies.
I understand your complaint about the introductory credits, but I also think it looks newer.
Okay.
You know what
Like
I
the
mean? I
movie
think
in
the
itself?
cinematography,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
production
yeah,
design,
yeah,
everything. You know, it looks.
Yep.
It's a lot more polished, obviously.
The lighting's real. I remember being real moody. Like
Yeah.
it just like showing the eyes of Jeremy Irons. By the way, we wanted to discuss this. He's playing a French diplomat, and there's other French people in the movie, characters, but they all have British accents. Which just like threw me off. I mean,
I don't know.
See,
I'm
you
not
know,
complaining, or like I'm not like one of those dudes. Man, fuck this movie. They're not really French.
I feel like when some
But-
movies do that though, it's because like if they were talking in a French accent, it'd be whatever, but they wouldn't probably be speaking in English anyway. They'd be speaking in French.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
like really what we're hearing isn't.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
It
Just
agree,
threw
though.
me off for a second. I mean, I do love Jeremy Irons in this. I thought
This was coming off. Yeah, this was coming off Dead Ringer, or it wasn't right after, but it was like his next collaboration with him.
It was the diplomatic stuff, the fact that he was an accountant for them. It was all very like it's not a problem that it's there because it's really needed to progress the story and where it goes. You know what I mean? It is, but he tells it in a very confusing way.
I will admit I didn't understand. Not even not understanding, but it just kind of was like
It's
just information.
again. Yeah, it's just like the plot is thin.
Did you care about the romance? I did.
Yes.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's
You
why.
did?
Romance
That's
is
why
the movie.
That's why
Well,
I
I
liked the
didn't
movie.
care about
I didn't
it.
care
Yes.
about him leaking information.
Oh, I didn't care about that either.
The
I didn't care
leaking-
about the whole damn
The
thing.
information part when he gets arrested towards the end of the movie, that kind of felt
It's jumpy.
out of the blue.
Yeah.
It just like I didn't really like once he was arrested. I was like, wait, why was he arrested?
Yeah, because they do some pretty large time hops.
Yeah, there's a lot
that
of
aren't- that
time
aren't
hops throughout
clear.
the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Where
Did
they
you-
don't discuss it really.
Did you find charm in this movie in any
Yes.
way? You did?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought.
I thought.
What was I missing then?
I don't know what you like romance movies like Fool's Gold and like they
Yeah,
go on
okay.
adventures and
Okay,
like,
talk to me.
jump
What
out
do
of
you feel-
airplanes.
What do you feel about it?
Nothing. I feel nothing, just like the feeling of the ending, nihilistic, nothing.
It was alluded to that she was actually a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
We didn't see that one coming.
But I was convinced that he did not know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, not even that he didn't know, but that he actually loved her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was convinced. I
definitely think
I had interest in their relationship.
You did?
I think at least it started off creepy to me. It started off like fetishy to me.
I didn't feel that.
The forced kiss. That first kiss is creepy. Like,
yeah, but it just looks like an old Hollywood kiss. It really
I don't
does.
know.
I think he actually loves it.
I'm gonna say this.
I don't think it's.
Well, I have a quote here.
I think the only reluctance on his part is that he's never let a man into his house. You know
You're
what I
talking
mean?
about song.
Yeah. So just the fact that he's kissing a man is the reluctance. I don't think that it's anything about not wanting it. I don't think.
Yeah.
I
Me,
thought,
that
I
first
thought it
kiss
was pretty
like
erotic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's definitely it was creepy.
No basic instinct.
Oh my God, they're not even in the same ballpark.
So though, I think there's something odd with Renee's character though, because there's one point where he compares Song to a young innocent schoolgirl waiting for her lessons. It's just very bizarre.
Yeah, and he's definitely like he has that arrogance anyway. So I definitely think there's like this creepy fetish thing for him. No, I wouldn't say creepy.
The whole idea, he's obsessed with the stereotypes. The submissive Oriental woman and the strong white man, which is what Madame Butterfly is about.
Well, she says to him, "I am your slave."
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It just flips its head by the end. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So, but I mean, personally, again, I like this movie.
What would you get it? What would you rate it?
I would give this one more of a 3.5. It's not something I loved. It's not my favorite of Cronenberg's, but it's something I liked because of his moods are just so strong and like tangible. And Crash was definitely like hypnotizing and like entrancing. And M Butterfly is just like a very strong portrait of this like odd relationship and like a special moment in China. You know, it's like a weird moment in China with this colonization. It's just, I think it's just effective towards me for me. You know,
let me go not off subject, but let me just ask another question for you guys. M Butterfly, Crash, and Existence were really, and Naked Lunch were the only movies that Cronenberg put out in the 90s. In my opinion, this is the weakest decade for him.
What do you think is the strongest?
The 80s, for sure.
Because you like you're more, that's just, like, you're just
he takes a jump from like body horror into more psychological relationship
and he gets into
kind
Eastern
of stuff.
Promises, History of
like
Violence,
these
Dangerous Method.
violent thrillers.
Yeah.
But they all have like a backing of psychology and fetish.
I think these things are throughout his
career.
His career. They just
the themes are obviously
they go through everything from
consistent.
The Brood on, you know.
Do you say he's like the most consistent with his themes of like?
I would say he's pretty.
Any directors? Like
I don't know about any director, but he
definitely
he has a
is one.
He definitely sticks with what he likes. He doesn't.
He makes the movies he wants to make.
Even David Lynch wimped out with that Straight Story. He's not.
What do you think about that?
Weirdo.
Do you think this is his? I guess this is way more bizarre than Straight Story.
Yeah. Straight Story is a Disney movie.
Instantly,
I'm just trying to think of something like that.
Like a comparison.
I thought it was
Tim Burton's
That's
Big
what
Eyes.
I thought it was.
I thought it was just like, oh, this is going to be like his weird, like historic, like romance. Because I heard of
Scorsese's Kundun, which I have not seen. But
I actually got those mixed together because like the layout of like the posters are similar or something. Like they're red with like a temple and a sun or something, and it always got me mixed up. But I'm gonna say 3.5.
3.5.
Due to I just really enjoyed this movie. Sorry, Nick.
Nick is always the contrarian. You will learn.
Last night we had
the reasonless contrarian.
We had a big discussion over Facebook chat because we were prepping up for this podcast, and it just turned in from a discussion to us saying "Shut the fuck up, Nick."
But all right, so Nick, what would you give it then?
Give it a 2. So it was better than Crash?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
what?
Okay.
Yeah, but,
But
you
you
had
ju-
more to say
oh.
about Crash. But what about this is so bad?
What about this is so bad?
One
I don't
turned
give
him
a
on
shit
and one
about
didn't.
anything that was happening in the movie at all.
Okay.
Like,
Fair enough. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's definitely like I can't argue.
truthfully,
Yeah.
I don't, because if I never saw The Crying Game, I'm going to go back to that. And I'm
All
gonna
right.
do
The
two
only
different
thing that
movies.
is similar about the Crying Game is the
tr-
reveal.
The reveal, yeah.
But what?
And that's
it's
what
not
I was
the same
waiting for in
movie,
this
so
movie,
why
because
is it
it's
even
Cronenberg.
So you just wanted.
That's absurd, man. That comparison is just absurd.
Well, how is it absurd?
Because they're so different, it's not even funny. They don't feel
In
remotely-
subject matter, of course they're different.
You think they're similar in tone?
No, I'm talking about
what makes them
the
similar?
twist is the similar thing.
Because
He doesn't know that.
they're a secret.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't
Okay.
know a secret about the person that he's fallen in love with.
see, here's a difference.
But he might.
He
Yeah.
might. We don't know that he doesn't know. That's part of why it's compelling.
See, I read an article about this movie with David Cronenberg where they were talking about the twist, and they were asking him, "Why did you cast John Lone, who is a movie star in China? Like, why would you cast someone so known
Yeah.
if you want this big shocking reveal?" And from what he was saying, he's more under the impression that maybe Jeremy Irons does know. Like, it's not so important. That the twist itself isn't so important that you find out that the butterfly is a man. It's more of, does Jeremy Irons know this? And if he knows this, what does that mean?
And like so when Song walks into the courtroom, he is dressed in a traditional like business suit.
Slicked back hair.
Yeah, cut hair. He doesn't have long hair. Jeremy Irons' face isn't like in shock. I don't think
He looks-
he just looks at Song like, hey.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not like there's like a extreme close up on Song's dick. You know, there's
I
nothing
think-
like that.
Yeah, I don't think he looks like he's in shock, but he kind of looks like defeated.
I mean,
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
you know,
he's
or like,
brokenhearted.
Yeah, like
He could
it's
be
like,
embarrassed.
Yeah, I think
you
it's
know,
the
'cause
fact
it's out
that
in front of
what he-
everybody.
yeah, it's almost absolutely because it's him finally coming to the realization that, you know, he can't really pretend it's anything else now.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, there's also in the part where they're in the cop car or whatever it is when they're going
yeah,
to jail.
yeah. Great strong
there's,
scene.
Yeah, there's a quote where after he sees Butterfly naked, he sees Butterfly for who he is, and that he doesn't love him or love her, that he loved the lie, and now he's seen her true self, and he doesn't love her. It's just more going back to the, now that he knows the truth, or like it's out in the open, he loved the lie of what, he loved the lie part of it, and now that it's all out in the open, he might not love her.
Yeah.
I appreciate where I think David Cronenberg was trying to go.
Mhm.
I just felt no charm, and in turn,
Do you feel charmed when you watch?
I was gonna
David
say, I don't know if
Cronenberg
the-
movies?
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
really
no.
know what that means.
No.
I do think this one has charm.
But I don't think it's trying to be charming.
I didn't care about the romance.
Okay.
That's what I
Well,
expected
if you don't
to
care
find
about the
charming.
romance, I can understand why you don't like it.
You
'cause
have
that's
to-
the main plot.
Yeah, that's
That's
why
what
I
I'm
set
saying.
it up with do you buy this? Because if you don't, you're not gonna. There's no way
But
you
you're
like the movie.
also a Trump supporter.
Yeah,
And-
okay. I don't
Who would
watch.
you vote for, Nick?
I don't watch Scanners and expect charm. I'm not saying that.
This isn't
Floating
Scanners.
I'm just saying that when I knew this was a love story,
Mhm.
so I was kind of expecting to
Did
care.
You didn't feel any passion between
You
the
were-
No.
actors? Okay. I mean,
No.
Truthfully, I didn't.
I think it's very strong, but okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Jordan?
What
Jordan,
what did you think about the pregnancy?
Yeah.
That was more along the lines when I was like very, very sure that
Oh yeah.
what was going on was in fact going on.
Or the fact that this is based on a true story, Nick?
Yeah.
It is. The
Yeah.
play is based off of a true story.
What, and he's just shaking his head like, good for you.
Good audio
Yeah.
podcast shaking your head.
Wait, go back.
What do you?
Do
This
that
whole
again. What were you asking me a question?
No. What do you think about that as based off a true story?
What do you think that it's based about? How it's based off a true story?
What about it?
Do you care?
No.
Does that matter?
No. That happens all the time.
Hold on. So you don't think it's believable in the context of the movie?
I think it's believable.
Okay. Maybe we're a little confused on your review.
Yeah, I don't know what. Were you asking me a question?
Well, we're just trying to give you some like a stage of like you to defend your view.
Because
your view is basically I did not care about. This
I'm not
film.
I'm not completely hot on this movie either, but I think
I don't think it's perfect by any means.
Yeah.
And it drags like at moments.
Oh my God,
yeah.
it dragged.
Being pretty short.
Yeah.
What do you think took you out of it?
I was out of it from the moment I pressed play.
Well,
then you're judging it based on preconceived notions.
So, also, do you think? Okay, so what if it was
Yeah.
modern day? Would you be more interested?
Yeah, I would, because you know what? I'll tell you what.
See?
I absolutely almost. I'm gonna dig myself into a hole right now.
Dude, don't even start.
I'm
Get
gonna
into
start.
it.
I absolutely hate period piece movies.
So Barry
I really
Lyndon
do.
is your favorite movie
Barry
of all
Lyndon can go straight to hell because
Albert Nobbs.
Albert Nobbs. I'm
Okay,
never
so
ever gonna watch.
let's do this. Let's do a
What?
little segment. So if Nick were to remake this movie,
Yeah,
Let's talk.
who? Okay, it'd be a modern day.
and
Who would be in it?
Al Pacino.
As an old man.
No, I'm just kidding.
It'd be
Joe
Al
Pesci.
Pacino and Johnny Depp as Song, and you would, and it was like a
Johnny
fucking
Depp.
it was like a mafia crime thriller,
Yeah.
and you would just be all about it.
Mm.
Johnny Depp has a wig.
Yeah,
Yeah, you love
Why
it.
do you like the end? How do you feel like it pays off?
because I fucking
'Cause
love bleak,
Violence.
nihilistic ending.
So you don't like
of anything.
You don't like the payoff. You just like the imagery.
Right. I just like the fact that it just ends so there's no happy ending. I pretty much always love that.
I think he sort of. I was going to talk about the ending. So, what do you think made him transform into the butterfly? Because at the end, let's go over this again. Jeremy Irons is in prison for leaking information to China
Right.
through Song
Because she was a spy.
because she was a spy. So he's in jail, and it cuts to him in jail, and he's wearing fingernail polish. He has makeup on.
He starts putting makeup on.
He starts putting makeup on. He does, he looks like a Chinese opera singer, and he's standing on stage, and he's I don't remember. Is he singing a song from the play?
I feel like
or
he
the
is.
opera, and he, after he's done performing, he's all these prisoners are watching him, and he commits suicide.
What did he cut his throat with?
like
I
a
had like a lipstick thing, like a
compact.
yeah, like
It was like
plastic.
kind of square
Yeah,
looking.
Yeah.
and it's pretty.
Like
It
the
cuts his
gold-
throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
sticks. He does it very delicately because
Yeah.
I don't think the people can
They
tell
don't
that
even
he's
know
doing
he's
it.
dead.
Yeah,
until
because he puts
the
his hands
guard
to like
comes
his
Right.
throat, like he's like singing or performing, and it cuts. But I enjoyed that end again. It's a very strong end, and my only critique again is like with Crash, there is just sort of like a jump to this very strong ending that you could say seems like sort of like out of place, or
Yeah.
just like I wouldn't say out of place, just like pops up.
I disagree, because I feel like it's all part of how he's obsessed with the
Yeah.
stereotype
Yeah.
and the fantasy, and the fact that when he sees Song as in his true form as a man, it's flipped. You know what I mean? He must then become the butterfly.
Okay. You're right. You're right. No, because I was trying to remember what like made him transform. So their roles transformed.
Right. The
Okay.
role reversal.
That now it's all coming back to me. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. But again, like, and by the idea of like this strong ending popping up is just like,
There's not
by
enough
that
meat
point,
throughout it.
by that point, it's just like I'm like, okay, it's not as strong feeling. I do like the police car scene a lot, or the police them in the back of the police.
Well, that's also kind of towards the end.
Yeah.
That's just part of the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have so much a problem of how it got to the end, but the last act in general, because it does do the time
Jumps,
hops significantly.
Without explaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes back to.
He's just
England.
all of a sudden a
what do they call
courier.
him? Like the red band, the red arms.
Yeah.
And yeah, he becomes a courier. They talk about how they lived together for a very long time. How she convinces him to get back into the diplomatic.
Yeah, there's just
Yeah.
not enough
And-
explanation for it to
Yeah.
really feel like pays off really.
No,
Right.
and I'm almost glad I didn't want to spend like they work
That
so
would have
well
been
together.
boring.
But
That
I-
would have been a
boring.
drag.
That
Yeah.
would
yeah,
have
yeah,
sucked.
yeah. So I don't.
It should have been paced out better though.
Yeah.
from
You guys
before
are
that.
spelling out everything I've already been
But
saying.
We
Who
didn't
the
say it was a
fuck
perfect.
cares?
We didn't say it was a perfect
Yeah,
movie.
this isn't ruining this. I mean, what is
You said it drug from the.
the
moment it started.
As soon as
I think the first scene
You-
in the
you
movie is
looked-
perfect when he's watching her.
yeah,
When he's watching her saying, "I'm into the movie," that moment he falls in love with her. You know, I do too.
I was
I'm
almost
there.
asleep as soon as the logo for Geffen Pictures or whatever the hell that came up.
Geffen.
That's what it was on mine.
I think it is.
Oh
as soon
man.
as that started spinning around there, my eyes started spinning in the back of my head.
Well, you fell asleep during many of your favorite movies
Well,
multiple times.
whatever.
So
You fall
we can't
asleep
use that as an example.
in almost every movie you watch.
So,
Mhm.
I think in general, Jordan, Ben, and I enjoyed it for
On the-
what it was.
on the more po-
not
I'm-
my favorite Cronenberg.
What
but
did
it
you
was-
give it?
was
I would
enjoyable.
I would
Sure
still
the
give it
hell.
a 3 out of
Sure as
5,
hell
but I'm
yeah.
more
I'm
more
a-
positive on it than
Yeah,
Crash.
I'm
Yeah.
a 3 out of 5.
I gave
as
it
well.
a 3.5. Strong feelings.
Hey,
and
I gave it a 2.
Yeah,
and that's,
yeah, that's-
one star more than Crash.
Why? Why?
Why? Because he took an even bigger.
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but
You feel like it's a big chance, but I don't know why.
I mean, you're giving different
like,
ratings,
it's a
but it's the
complete
same level of bitchiness.
now that we saw A Dangerous Method, it doesn't really stand out quite as much as far as like a period piece type thing. I thought A Dangerous Method was really. Don't get me started on that.
Here's a quick little background. We tried to watch it on demand one time, and I wasted my $4 because he just talked shit during the whole movie.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
you
wasn't
should-
able for me to enjoy
But I
it.
feel like you can put
Dangerous
those two-
Method's a good movie.
Who I wouldn't know because I watched it with Creek Bomb.
That's a bad thing.
Well, guess what? We're not watching it for this because I'm not watching it again.
Well, what are we doing next time?
All right, so for the next episode, because we will be continuing the David Cronenberg series,
Let's hope it picks up from here. Jesus.
Let's hope you have something to say.
So
we'll
we're
be doing one of his first movies, which is Shivers,
like a body horror.
body horror. Looks more like of what if you are into the horror aspect of the David Cronenberg from
long,
the
like, new
80s.
Flash type
Yeah,
stuff.
real
That-
like cheap Canadian.
Yep. And then we are doing Spider.
Mhm. Which is
what is Spider about?
a schizophrenic fella.
Ray Fiennes is in it.
Oh
who,
yeah.
His mother's murdered by his father, and that's all I sort of really know.
I actually haven't seen
he
it. So
he
it'll be
is
good
living
to
with his
watch.
father.
I haven't
And
seen
he sees like
I don't
the
think
murder.
anybody's seen it. Have you seen it?
No, I've never seen
Yeah.
it before.
I
And
own it,
we've
but I
never
haven't
seen
seen it.
Shivers.
Oh, you do?
either,
I've never
correct?
seen Shivers.
So the next
I haven't
episode,
either.
we will all be
Watching it
Completely
anew.
fresh.
first reactions towards it.
So I think this comes to an end. I mean, to me, these two movies were two movies that I've never seen before.
I'm certainly glad
I'm happy I watched
revisited
these.
them.
Yeah.
You can pretty much say I never saw the two either because when I saw Crash for the first time, I didn't really take anything away from it.
I saw Crash in college and wasn't a big fan. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more now, but I'm still not super hot on it.
But yeah. So I think these two movies were. I'm happy we chose these. I enjoyed them.
They definitely were a harder duo to pick
Yeah,
for your very
yeah.
first
They're-
episode, but I
they're
feel
rough.
like they were interesting. They have a lot to talk about,
Yeah, heavy
whether you
themes.
like it or not.
Yeah, in an alternate universe, they were interesting. Yeah.
This is why we do this, is to explore movies we haven't seen, maybe from directors we love. And
Yeah, I'm excited to do more. I'm excited to do more weird movies that Creek Bomb won't like. But before we go, I want to thank Chris Kohler for helping us. For engineering this for us. So he is doing all the recording and
Gets paid in lo mein.
yep, we paid him in Chinese food. Thanks for Jasmine's for providing that Chinese food. So thanks for listening to our podcast.